Welcome back to Cutting Stems, the after show, Bachelor in Paradise edition. Unfortunately, we are missing our beloved Trent this evening.
I miss him so fucking much.
Yeah.
Representing us both today on the side of the table.
Yeah, really heartbreaking news. He is not here today. He also won't be here next week.
Yes. Sorry to break the news.
Golf, he's a busy, busy guy.
Yep.
So we do not have him, but you have us. We have our Owens mixers. We got them ready to go, guys. We all have our cans here to show you. These are the sparkling margarita mixes.
I'm sorry, I'm metaphorically holding Trent's hand right now.
She's still holding Trent's hand, yeah.
They are so good. All you gotta do, crack open the can, pour it into your cocktail, and that's it. You have a wonderful sparkling margarita ready to go. You can get your Owens mixers on Amazon at amazon.com/Owens mixers. You can send it right to your door. Easy. Drink along with us. Guys, we were hoping Brendan was going to pay for his sins, and he did kind of, but not really. Like, he still, I think, got off easy compared to how they treated Chris.
I do feel like Joe brought a different energy to Brendan than he did to Chris. And I'm 100%. A little confused because we do know that Joe and Natasha do have a podcast together. So you would think that he would be defending Natasha even more than whatever was going on with Chris, Jasenia, and Alana, people that we just don't know. And it seemed like he just was a little less, stern with Brendan.
I agree about that. I also think that Brendan's, quote unquote sins were worse than we would have anticipated. He's an actual
worse
dickhead.
than Chris.
Like, he's just an asshole, kind of, right?
Brendan is a giant asshole.
Yeah, he really came off very, very bad. And like it is interesting though because, and it's not a good thing, but it does feel like because the beach is very cliquey and it's the friends that know each other and don't know each other that it's like mean. Like I really feel bad now watching this. Feeling bad for Chris and Alana because the way they talked about them, it was like no one knew them. They didn't have any friends here. Like it was like, ouch. Like it was all very extreme. And so
like I just said.
Yeah, like it was like No, but
it's true. They were kicked out. They were kicked out because they didn't want them there. Not that they cared whether they were or not. They're not really friends with them. They're just like, oh, you guys are disposable.
But there's one thing for sure. It's one thing if Joe brought that energy to Brendan, but he didn't. Like because if Joe was like, oh, we're not really friends with him. Like, nobody knows him. It's like, okay, he did something wrong. It's like, okay, well, you know Brendan, and he did something wrong. So why are we not talking to him like that? It just was very intense, but you knew it was coming because we had it start with Brendan, like, whispering he felt like he got off easy. He thought that he was on a one-way ticket to the end of this thing.
100%.
I don't like Brendan and Piper. I'll put that out there. Yeah. I thought that the way they handled the situation just came across nasty. They were confronted by a bunch of the women and Joe. Yep. Brendan called them disgruntled females, which was wild. It was wild. And the way that he just talked to them was like he was talking down to them. He didn't understand the point they were trying to make. I wish Demi let Natasha talk more. It did seem like maybe Natasha was a little timid, but I felt like Demi was being the loudest in the group about the situation. Right. Mm-hmm. When Demi did show up to the beach with kind of a girlfriend last time she was on the show, which we do have to remember that happened.
Yeah.
Brendan was not nice to Demi. I did not like the way he talked to Demi at all.
Yeah.
But it felt like Demi was the loudest.
I have honestly a question for you guys. I'm thinking kind of back to the fact that they didn't really let Chris and Alana explain themselves. They just kind of booed them off the island. I feel like maybe with Brendan, he has never really shown that he's this much of a dickhead. So maybe they were kind of given the benefit of the doubt, like have him explain himself and maybe let Piper also explain herself because she has friends there too. And truly, the both of them just look like assholes. Like I think that, and for Piper too,
and it really seemed
I'm
like
shocked
Brendan
by
was
Piper.
reading from a script.
Yeah,
like Brendan, it felt like his first initial explanation felt so constructed and scripted, and then it was like when he finished it, he was like, "Nope, no questions." Like that's
I'm actually going to take myself out of the situation.
Like, that's all
I have nothing left to say.
Like,
also, when he said, "I've been saying
didn't
this,"
answer anyone's questions. But no, Rhea, you were right. Demi, I think, brought an energy that she and Natasha were on like equal playing field because Brendan had gone on a date with Demi, which was unfair because obviously this hurt a lot more for Natasha than it did for Demi. But you know, Demi gets fired up. She was very heavy on like why did Chris and Alana get sent home when no one's asked. Like she's like, objectively, Brendan was way worse. So why aren't we talking to him like that? So Demi was the only one who really brought that same energy. The rest of them were like, you know, we thought that, you know, we didn't like what you were doing and they wanted an explanation. And then it was just, it wasn't like when they heard Brendan speak, it wasn't like, all right, now you guys got to get out. Which is like what they did to Chris. It was like,
they literally
like, get the fuck out of here.
booed them off the place.
Yeah.
That was
Riley and Joe, like we said, different energy for this. Yeah. Meanwhile, Brendan was a way bigger dickhead than Chris was. I was so disgusted and appalled by the way Brendan was speaking.
I know.
It was just classic douchebag vibes with when you're called out for something and you can't accept that you were wrong. So all of a sudden you just start being really mean to everybody else.
Yes.
He's like, sorry, I didn't know you guys wrote the rule book for dating and for dating in paradise. And Demi was like, fuck off. And I was like, you know what? Good for you that you said fuck off because it was just so arrogant. And I got to be honest, I know that a lot of this was Brendan because Piper kept saying how she did not want to go. It seemed like Brendan wanted to go. But I really didn't like the energy she brought either. When they left, she was laughing her way into the car. I thought that was very snooty. And I feel like that
seems rude.
Rude. I think that they could have handled themselves a lot better being like, okay, we know we fucked up. We probably shouldn't have came. Tell that to everyone and say, hey, we really like each other. And you know what? We made a wrong decision. If we really like each other, we should have just stayed home. But I do, like, Brendan, huge dickhead, but when he was leaving was like, this is the girl I want to be with, so I'm going to go with her. Piper just nasty attitude.
Another thing too with
Brendan,
Piper,
nasty attitude as well.
Yeah. They both had nasty attitudes. With Piper as well, I think that she very much like was kind of caught up in Brendan being such a dickhead. Like I think she kind of was like, oh shit, well I gotta be ride or die right now. I made such a big deal about being here for him, only being here for him, whatever he's going to say. Now I'm lumped in with it. I would like to think that Piper isn't such an asshole like he is, but I think that she 100% comes across looking that way. She should have stepped in and said something like, hey, like, I don't know, or he should, I don't know. I feel like we should have heard more from her.
She was like, I came here to meet Brendan, and Deandra was like, meet?
That's what pissed me off.
You already met him.
You met him.
Yeah.
She was like, you already met him. She goes, no, you know, like, meet me, like explore this. What is there? We know what the show is for. You go on and you create a relationship with someone, possibly you fall in love on the beach. It's not real life. If you were already talking in real life, explore that relationship in real life because exploring it in paradise isn't going to be your real relationship. So why not explore it in real life?
The excuse
they just wanted a vacation together.
The excuse that, and what Brendan kept saying is like, I never would have been able to spend this much time with her in the real world than we are like right now. It's like, yeah, of course, but that doesn't mean you could spend all the time in the world with her in paradise. You could go back to the real world and not have it work. Like also, you're better off just dating in the real world
completely
and spending more time with each other in real life settings. You're not going to be in paradise for the rest of your life.
Exactly. I don't know who asked Brendan this. It might have been Deandra, but somebody had asked him, is it true that you saw Piper the day before you came to paradise?
Yeah.
And the way he responded to that, the answer was obviously yes. But the way he was like, did I see Piper the day before paradise? Yes, I did see her the day before paradise. It's like, what do you, what? Why do you have to repeat it like that? Are you trying to avoid answering this question? Are you trying to like debate whether or not you want to answer it honestly? Because everybody fucking knows, and you have to be honest in this point. And that to me sounds shady as fuck. So just date then, hang out then. Don't be like, see you in a couple days, like on the beach. No, don't do that.
And Demi's response to that was perfect. She said, okay, then it seems like you guys clearly have something amazing because you're not going to see someone the day before you leave to go somewhere if you're not dating that person or you like that person. You know, before you go on vacation, without your significant other. You're going to spend the day with that person because you're not going to see them because you're going on vacation. That's what that screams to me. So they clearly had a strong foundation before this, and Brendan is a huge dickhead.
And now we also know why, in Brendan's apology on Instagram last week, he said further apologies to come. It's like he must have known, shit, they still didn't show all the rest. I'm going to look even worse. But it's like, the apology of like, now I'm just realizing how much of an asshole I was to Natasha. He said that, and then he really like doubled down on that with specifically Natasha before he left, which really is what made him look bad. Like he said, Natasha wants to talk for the 17th time. Like it's like, okay, yeah, she does.
She's frustrated. She's frustrated with you,
not
and
giving
you're
her
a
any
dickhead.
answers. And then he was talking to someone else, and he said there was a 0% chance Natasha had any other guy there or would have had any other guy there.
And she said,
like, how the fuck do you know that?
Right, you have no idea.
0% chance of her having a relationship. That made me want to punch my
so rude.
It's really rude and it's really gross, and his behavior is disgusting, and I'm glad that he's gone.
Yeah, and I will say, you know, guys, I love Grocery Store Joe, but I do think he tried to cover his ass a little bit because he was like, we didn't kick Chris out. Like, they left on their own. I'm like, you fucking kicked that guy out. You yelled in his face. You got angry. You kicked him out.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, he said technically, well, I think that his
like,
wording behind that, right, we can't actually kick you out. Like, it seems like we kicked out Chris and Elena, but they, like, left of their own accord. It's like, they didn't leave of their own accord. You brought your torches and pitchforks and your, what did Brendan say?
Made them as uncomfortable as possible.
Your army of disgruntled women. Or females. Females. Army of disgruntled females, and you ran them out of town.
Ridiculous.
As they should be run out of town.
So absurd to call them disgruntled females.
Army of disgruntled females. I might.
Is Piper not watching that like, oh, so my boyfriend's a huge dickhead? He calls women disgruntled females.
If my boyfriend ever fucking said that around me, I'd be like, ew, we're over.
He might as well call them pigs.
Those were right. Like, what are you talking about?
They were also so
unbelievable.
Besides, you know, Demi and her like fuck off moment and whatever.
Yeah.
Everyone was very well spoken and calm with them. So like it was like they got worked up.
Right. He's the only
Brendan decided he was like, I'm gonna make it seem like everybody's angry at me. And for a second, I really did think that they were gonna stay. I was like, these two are gonna fucking stay. They're just gonna ignore everyone. They're gonna stay. But when Piper was like, I told you did not want to come here.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, well, there you go. That further shows that I feel like Brendan pushed Piper into this situation, and they make the decision to leave.
I also just remembered that Piper said, this is a thing that kind of brought me back on her side, is when they were talking quietly before they left, where she was like, I mean, the followers weren't like that big of a deal. Like, I have a master's degree in marketing. Like, I probably could have got them on my own somehow. Like, she literally said that, which, again, it's kind of crazy how we went from not acknowledging any sort of social media contribution at all to literally discussing the positive effects that you'll have about all the followers that you're going to get. And for her to be like, well, I guess it wasn't that big of a deal. It's like, if it wasn't that big of a deal, then why did you just come and like ruin your life here? Like, just stay home.
Demi said that they were the villains in their own story, and they were.
Yeah.
Yes,
they fucked this up for themselves
entirely. They really did.
They definitely did. And, you know, last week was bad with people unfollowing Brendan, and I'm going to think that this week it's just going to continue because he still really
What's his count at
did
right
not
now?
look good. Last time I looked, it was like 250,000.
Yeah, all right.
And that's 250,000 too many people, so.
Agreed. Natasha's almost pushing 4.
Yeah, I'm over.
4?
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah. They're gone. Wells is talking to everyone. He had a great line. He said, you know, they're truly the only rule there is across the board on all the shows. Don't come on with a boyfriend or girlfriend. It's like really across the board.
Show up single.
Yeah.
Show up single.
Not that hard.
Last line from Brendan that killed me in the car.
Yeah.
With Piper, he said, I didn't want to mislead anyone. I just withheld information.
That's an argument I make like all the time.
That's like,
what do you mean? I just didn't tell you.
I didn't lie.
Everything.
I
just
didn't want
didn't
to mislead you.
Just withheld information.
I just did not tell you the truth.
It's ridiculous. It's lying. It's still lying.
It's really insane. But we had a
this guy
shift.
He's just the worst. He
stinks
just
out
the worst.
loud.
And his like tone of voice, even when he was getting on, he's like, "I'm gonna remove myself because I have nothing left to say." It's like, shut up. That's not even your real voice. Ugh.
He looked, but a complete shift here from the Brendan and Piper stuff. Now we're in love. We're getting sexy. Riley and Maurissa are on the beach, licking whipped cream.
Yeah, they were.
Off each other's bodies, their toes, their boobs, their thighs, it was sexual.
What was what was she using?
Whipped cream.
Whipped cream?
No. To choose what body part?
Oh,
a wheel, like a pinwheel?
No, she had a bowl. Pieces of paper, and you picked the body part out.
I was horny. I really was.
It was a sexy moment.
It was sexual.
How do you not watch that and get all worked up? I mean, they're looking at he's licking her chest on live television. It
was wild. You turned to me and you said, do they, in past times, have they done this? And I don't think that any date has gotten quite as sexual as this one. I think this is like the most sexual date I've seen on The Bachelor.
Yeah, I mean, her boobs were out. They had a black box on her chest.
Over her whole chest. Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah, it was great.
Well said. He was like, it was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen because I know what's on the beach and I know where they're stepping. And he was like, but also, if you're toe sucking, you may end up engaged at the end of this.
Yeah.
That's true. That's really true.
Yeah, no, it was great. They look like they're in a great place right now. The one person who probably had, like she said, a terrible birthday. She cried, said last year she got COVID on her birthday. She said this was even worse. Tammy. It's Tammy's birthday. They're celebrating. But before the rose ceremony, everybody's tense, right, too, because there's 9 guys and 14 girls. So there's a lot of girls going home. Tammy has felt confident with Thomas, but Thomas just went on this date with Becca, and he goes to basically break up with her and say, I don't think I can get there with you. And it was really sad to watch because she really did try and fight for it and to get more of an explanation out of him when it sucked because I felt bad for her because I really thought it was just going to reach Thomas being like, look, I like Becca more than you. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, he did kind of say that was the most painful part about that. Obviously, it sucks that he had to even have the conversation. Tammy, I keep calling them Tommy because Thomas and Tammy. Tammy looked really sad, and but Thomas said, I went on the date with Becca and I had a really good time and I didn't feel guilty about it. And I was like, fuck, ouch, Jesus Christ, on her birthday. On her birthday. Man, that's tough. That is tough to hear. But he couldn't be any more clear,
No, he was he was clear.
What broke my heart when he was like, I don't want to make you upset. And she was like, well, you're clearly making me upset.
Yeah, and you know what else she said? She said, you're my best friend. And I was like,
that was weird.
This feels...
She also said, I gave him everything at one point. I gave him everything. I was like, it's been 5 days.
These bitches are so dramatic on this show.
They're so dramatic.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think a part of
that...
I
would be just as dramatic. I want to put that on record.
For sure. Yes. That's exactly what I was going to say. I think a part of those tears, and like she had said once she was crying, I feel so stupid, things like that, is like you're on TV, and what's happening, is embarrassing.
It's foolish. Or she feels foolish.
Right, exactly.
Doing something foolish.
Exactly, especially when she left Aaron for Thomas and made that decision, and now here she is, same thing happening. So she was very upset. Aaron, little,
how about him in the background?
Bitch
well, I don't like to say I told you so.
Hate to say I told you so.
Hate to say I told you so.
I told you so.
I don't like to say that. Yes, you do. That's literally your favorite thing to do is to tell people you told them so.
I was upset because I knew Aaron would be happy.
Yeah, and it was sad for Tammy. They really they did the back and forth of the. Becca and Thomas making out, cutting to her crying, and
that was
it was just
Also, how about Thomas? Yeah, just he's like, hold on, Becca, BRB, I gotta go break up with Tammy. Breaks up with Tammy. She runs off crying. It's her birthday, and he's like, all right, well, I guess me and Becca can go make out on the couches, tongue on tongue, out in the open. Okay, is that fine, or is that a little insensitive? Maybe wait until she at least leaves, or goes. I don't know. Are you gonna get tongued down 10 feet away from the girl?
Here's the thing.
She was off
the beach at that point.
She was off the beach, and if you don't care, you don't care. Like you
said,
he went on the
I
don't feel guilty about it.
I don't feel guilty.
If he doesn't care, he's not going to care that Tammy's crying. He's I want to go make out with
I would feel so weird doing that. I feel like I would feel, maybe I would.
But if you don't like the person.
If I don't like them. True, if I don't like them, I don't give a fuck. Just feels very, I don't know, very in her face. Very directly, fuck you.
The rose ceremony, Wells, our fearless leader, comes out and makes a big statement saying, I feel like someone here deserves a second chance. They, obviously had this not work out for them so far. And they bring out an extra rose for Natasha because now, Brendan and Piper are gone. So Natasha gets to stay, which is interesting to me And it's funny because it's just such a producer thing. Because obviously producers know that Dr. Joe was coming, and they were like, "Well, we gotta put Natasha and Dr. Joe on a date." Of course. So Natasha's got to stay. So they, bring in that magical extra rose.
I cried
to save Natasha.
I cried when they came out. I was like, oh, just the way that everybody reacted, and she immediately.
The way that Wells delivered it too was great.
He's so sweet.
Yeah, he is.
I was like, this is the sweetest moment ever, and he was like, somebody here just really deserves another chance and was wronged, and just we all feel that you deserve another chance. People were clapping. Oh, it touched my heart.
Make Wells the host.
Make
That's all I have to say.
Make Wells
the host. He knows what he's talking about. He observes everyone. Make Wells the host.
Yeah, I agree with you. All the pairings made a lot of sense for the rose ceremony. Ivan and Kendall. I don't know what the hell is going on there.
When did they start talking?
Never seen them talk one time.
Me neither.
But Ivan's out here giving his rose to Kendall. So
it's crazy. That's
crazy. Don't know what's going on there. James and Tia. James also gave his rose to Tia, and then came down to Aaron, and he gave his rose to Chelsea. So that meant that Demi, Jasenia, Tammy, and D'Angelo all went home.
With Tammy, that, can I say that I thought it was crazy how on Demi's face and Tammy's face, maybe even Jasenia a little bit, they all kind of looked like maybe Aaron will pick me. In a way, and I was like, "In what world is he going to pick any of you?" Do you think?
I think it's fair, just because I don't think that there is any it doesn't feel like there's any romantic connection between him and Chelsea after their date, or unless we didn't see anything that would lead us to think that after the date they were feeling each other.
Yeah.
So I could have seen him doing some kind of this person deserves to stay here.
Or the producers telling Aaron,
exactly.
Keep Demi around just for one more week.
Yeah. Right. I would have been pissed if he picked Demi. I think out of those people, if he picked Tammy, I think that would have been most interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep Tammy just a berate her.
He is he is far too petty to pick Tammy.
Yeah, for sure, of course.
So Tammy's in the car just sad with the cupcake.
Oh, what an image.
Demi is upset. She's crying, feeling embarrassed. That's what we're talking about. Joe was saying that he feels like Demi has a very, hard shell on the inside. She's
on the inside. And he was saying I hope she finds somebody, blah, 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 which made me think, and I brought this up to you guys, do we think that there would ever be a situation where Demi would be the lead in maybe either as a bachelorette or as the first bisexual bachelorette? Do we think that that's ever an option for Demi? I think it's had me thinking since she was on.
I think it's maybe an option.
Yeah.
But I think she has at this point just been on so many times.
What about Claire?
True. A lot of people have been on a million times. And they've made them. Nick Viall. I mean, people like that.
People have put in some fucking time.
I wonder about her. The only reason I wonder this is because I feel like this time around, usually Demi's just she's a bad bitch 24/7, no matter what, doesn't give a fuck. I was surprised to see her kind of crying and leaving and actually seeming upset and feeling. I bought it. Whether it was a show or not, I bought her feeling sad in this round. And Joe saying that, I really hope she does find someone. It just felt a little, something about it put something in the air for me that made me think, oh,
yeah, you never know. It's for sure a possibility.
I think I'd like that.
I also think getting sent home and nobody picking you to like you is going to make you upset enough.
Sure, yeah.
Even if you didn't actually want to be there, it's oh, damn, nobody really likes me.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess I got to go home now.
I guess I wouldn't have expected it out of Demi just based on how she's been reacting this whole time. I was kind of not giving a fuck, except for with Kenny, I guess.
Lil Jon's our new host. He comes down to the beach, throws out a few yeahs, and everybody's freaking out. They're excited. And then we have some new guys on the beach. Blake.
No idea who he is. Super hot.
Literally no idea. He is an attractive guy. And I'm convinced now that Tia must have told a producer when she signed up to come on this season, a list. And they do this. They say they do this. They tell producers who they like and who they want to meet. She must have put Blake on her list because I don't know how this guy makes it on Paradise without one of them suggesting him. I had no idea who he was.
Oh, he's cute, or I saw him.
Not a clue.
Whatever. What season even?
I didn't want to ask you guys who he was because I didn't want to sound stupid.
No.
So I'm feeling really good right now.
No, literally do not remember him at all.
Claire
He was on Claire and Tayshia's. This Blake is why Blake Moynes was called Blake Moynes.
Yes, that's right.
Because I think he's also a Blake M.
Yeah.
Yes, now I'm remembering this.
Yeah.
Yes,
But he wasn't around for very long. He does seem very handsome and very sweet. He's from the Midwest.
Tia clearly wanted to meet this man. They go on a date together. She's calling him Tatty Daddy. Like, she loves this guy. She's like so in. They're on the dune buggies.
You should have made her what her vagina dance.
Yeah, yes, she said if it doesn't make your vagina dance, it's not worth it. She thinks it could work in the real world, and she also said Blake is the one person I wanted to see here, which makes me think she told the producers, "Hey, I want to come if fucking Blake M from Claire's season is there."
It's always hilarious when somebody always says, I was waiting for this person to show up, and you have no idea who the person is.
Yeah.
Like the same thing with Chris. When Chris came, all these girls are like, Chris is here, and the audience is saying, who the hell is Chris?
Who the fuck is Chris?
So I guess good for Tia and Blake, but once I'm just like,
I'll say,
why not off the show?
They had a very comfortable I liked that very much. I'm very into them as a couple. Like
I was into the date. It was like, wow, these two really do make sense. I felt like I was watching a real date.
Honestly, and that's why they were saying like, oh, people are going to think that we've like met before or whatever. And she's like, yeah, I know, it's so comfortable. I was like, yeah, I really do think it looks like you've met before. Not in a way where I'm like, you've met before. Yeah. But like, wow, they seem so comfortable.
These two might
they're having a good time. Yeah, I kind of hope so. I think that they're a really cute couple. I love him for Tia.
Tatty Daddy.
Seems like a good guy, and he's Tatty Daddy.
I'm rooting for that.
Yeah,
I'm rooting for Tia here to find somebody.
Yep, for sure. Kenny and Mari are like in love at this point. They're just obsessed with each other. Boom, boom, room, doing all that stuff.
Yep.
Dr. Joe is the next guy to come down. Love Dr. Joe.
How happy were you, Fran, when Dr. Joe walked down those steps?
I was pumped, but I just think they kind of did Dr. Joe a little dirty because I feel like they solely used him in the best friend of Brendan storyline, so they saved him and sent him down later. Where now, like, everybody's paired up. So, like, nobody's going to, like, break up their couple for Dr. Joe.
Yeah.
Everybody's in a strong situation. The only person that I would be viable with is Natasha. But from the way their date went, because Dr. Joe gave Natasha his date card, his whole demeanor changed after Natasha was like, Brendan, like, was very close to ruining my entire experience.
Immediately.
He couldn't believe it. I did not realize how close they are. But when Dr. Joe was like, my Brendan.
My Brendan.
I was like, oh, fuck, these guys are best friends. Yeah. And after that, I think it's toast.
I feel like it's tough for a guy when he finds out his guy best friend's a douchebag.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, why do you got to be this way? Yeah. Like, Dr. Joe's a really nice guy. Right. He's probably fooled by Brendan.
And I think Dr. Joe is also conscious of the fact that, like, oh, like, now is it going to look like I hate my best friend, that I'm gonna like come in and make him look even worse because he's
not gonna sit there and bash his friend. Arguably his friend fucked up and he should be on the side of Natasha in this case, like just across the board. But when you come in, you're meeting somebody and they start talking shit about your best friend, you're just like, damn, that's my best friend. What can I say? You know what I mean? I'm not gonna talk shit. I'm not gonna say anything. There's two sides to every story. I gotta talk to my friend. You know what I mean? Like he's not gonna, especially for some girl, he literally just met.
Yeah, Dr. Joe didn't see the episode, so how's he supposed to know?
Yeah,
his best friend. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. But the producers, they know what they're doing here. They always know what they're doing, and they knew by bringing Dr. Joe in and putting her on. Like they're just fucking Natasha over so badly here. Well, they're not now. Brendan was, but now it's like, okay, now we're just fucking Natasha
let's give her
over
Brendan's
royally.
best friend.
And then let's make her the Bachelorette because we fucked her over so bad.
Yeah, Brendan. It was, and you could tell Dr. Joe was like, I don't know what I should say.
Yeah.
He put his arm around her like, all right, buddy.
Like, what do I say about Piper?
Like the whole time.
Don't want to get in trouble here.
That was my favorite part where she was like, oh, you know, Brendan. And that's why he was so shocked even that he was like there, I guess. He was like, my Brendan? And then went on about it. And then Natasha asked him, like, did you know that he and Piper like had whatever? And before he responded, he was like, it was just not an answer. Obviously, he knows. Your friends know everything. But his face trying to hide the emotion of the fact that he like knew exactly what she was talking about. It's tough.
Yeah, he walked out like with his arm around her. Was like, it had to be Brendan, huh?
Yeah.
And even Natasha was like, yeah, so that's over. Like she, she could tell that it wasn't gonna work either.
Nope.
And then we ended on a wholesome note, but also kind of sad at the same time for one person, but still very wholesome. Joe and Serena, they set up this little picnic date. Joe, by the way, God bless him, but like, what's he doing? He's got He's in slides and socks on the beach.
He doesn't give a fuck what he looks like this time around. Like he's coming out, he's like, I am just me. Like I'm grocery store Joe. Like this is me, and that's how he's acting.
Yeah,
I love it.
I cried watching these two.
Yes.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Serena told Joe that she is falling in love with him. He said, I'm falling in love with you too. And her reaction was so adorable. She was like, really? No way. Yes. Like, she was so excited.
Really? That is what
they're coming back.
Yeah,
they're coming back.
It's really,
really
so
is what brings it out.
It was adorable. Unfortunately, it did seem like it was in the eye vision. You know, Kendall could see this going on.
Yeah, it was inside of Kendall's mouth, essentially.
Yeah, Kendall.
Couldn't have been any closer to Kendall.
Kendall's trying. It's not working. This Ivan situation, confusing, weird. Like, Ivan tried to get her to kiss him.
To like consult. What I interpreted about that situation is that she was clearly watching Joe and Serena being upset. Ivan sees that and turns to her and is like, come here. Like, and trying to comfort her by like giving her a kiss. And she was like, actually, I'm just like, it's too much PDA. I'm like not comfortable with it. And he was like, okay, I get it. I feel bad for him in that situation.
Feel bad for Ivan,
because that's so awkward. But if we remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure Kendall did this whole same thing to Joe when she was making out with Leo on the beach right in front of Joe's face. So I'm sorry, Kendall, but what are you gonna do? Sometimes your ex/guy you want to date is making out with somebody who's like a little bit better than you, maybe right in front of your face.
I'm not gonna say one is better than the other.
Not better than the other.
Likes
that he likes her more. That he likes her more
at this point. Yes. I don't feel bad for Kendall. I don't feel bad for Kendall.
Yeah, I don't either.
Go home.
Yeah,
I don't.
Go home. He clearly you're
right. Your relationship
you're
is
like
over.
A nuisance at this point.
Yeah, she's holding on to something that is from the outside blatantly obvious that it's over.
Yeah.
So it's more than anything now. It's just like sad. Like it's just like oh, this is just tough to watch for her.
We didn't hear from her, right? The end of it was her walking off.
Yeah, she just said she needed to go. They were like, is she leaving? We don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. She just felt like. Obviously, she didn't want to be watching that, but I think that kind of like wraps up. We're not sure what's going to happen because there's a storm coming. They're all looks like they're evacuating the beach.
Yeah.
So we'll see what goes on there.
I think a storm is coming in more ways than one. I think there's a lot going to happen this season.
Yeah. We got some more guys coming in. We are not going to be doing questions tonight.
No.
We will not. So sorry to all those that are, in the chat right now. We love you
so much.
We love you,
everyone watching.
But we are going to cut some stems and give out some.
Yes.
Can we just collectively cut the same rose?
What's our general one?
Brendan.
Yeah.
Brendan. Yeah.
Brendan,
he's been an umbrella cut the last 2 weeks.
Yes, he really has. And
Trent, it's rose cut golfing.
Golf.
Son of a bitch.
I cut him. I'm with that. Rose to golf.
Yeah.
Cut the stem of golf.
I mean, Trent is really like giving the rose. It's the Ryder Cup. He's excited. Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
Cutting, missing Bachelor.
Exactly. Perfect.
We want to cut Brendan as a whole.
Yeah, we're gonna cut him. Yeah. Cutting him out.
Across the board.
He's done.
Across the board.
Sure.
Cut him out. I don't even know if I have. Truthfully, I don't think I have anybody else who I'd want to cut. Nobody really. He bothered me so much that anybody else that could have possibly bothered me in this episode was overshadowed completely. Like, I didn't even have time to think about anybody else that may or may not have pissed me off.
I agree. I just want to go with Brendan.
Yeah.
I think we should all put Brendan on the board.
I'm good with that.
Brendan.
Cut Brendan. Down the thing. Cut it for life. Cut it forever. Final cut. Goodbye. I don't want to see you ever again.
Yep.
I'm going to give my rose to Riley.
Yeah.
That's a good rose.
That man clearly knows how to work his tongue.
Yes, yes he does. Yes, he does, Maria.
Sorry.
No, those two
inappropriate.
Those two deserve it.
No, they really
do.
And
I would, Maurissa as well, but I got to give one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to give mine to Serena. I think that she went out on a limb.
Very cute.
She was nervous, and she was like, I feel like I got to tell Joe how I'm feeling, whatever. Did it. It went well. So happy for her. Rose to Serena.
I think I'm going to, I don't know. I'm in an interesting spot here.
It says Riley's tongue. Not even
Riley's tongue, yeah.
Tongue.
Well, we know what you're really meaning, yeah. That is what you're
Guys,
meaning.
I don't know.
Who could be good?
I mean,
we're not going to choose it for her.
That's true.
I mean, I'm going to give my rose. Look, I'm going to give my rose to Dr. Joe. I've loved Dr. Joe. I'm excited for him to be here. And I think he deserves it because he might not get one on his time on the beach. I think he got done a little dirty here because I think they're coming in as like, ooh, evil Brendan's best friend.
Yeah.
And he's such a sweet, sweet man. Like
he got derailed so quick. Natasha probably hates him.
He does. Like their conversation on the beach was so different than their conversation after dinner.
Dr. Joe got heathered.
Yeah,
he did. Yeah, he did.
They're using a sweet man.
Yes.
For just a way to continue this Brendan story.
A pawn in their game.
He certainly is. Exactly. A pawn in their game. All right, guys. I think that wraps it up for tonight's Cutting Stems. Thank you all for joining us. Make sure you get your Owens mixers right now. Order it right now on Amazon. Amazon.com/Owens Mixers. A perfect cocktail while you watch Bachelor in Paradise. And the three of us will be back next week.